Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today this is the multi-strand pendant necklace that I will be making along with the matching earrings. Most of the components came from the bargain bead box for the month of June 2023. And if you are interested in the bargain bead box, I will have all the information in the description box below. I highly encourage you to check them out, and when you do, you definitely want to use my code. That code is Casey2. And remember, I spell my name just a little unique. That's KASI2. That code will get you $2 off your first month subscription or $2 off your first order from their website. So if you would like to see how this necklace and earring set came about, then stay tuned. All right, so let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with the tools that I will be using. I have 2 sets of chain nose pliers, 1 set of cutters, 1 set of round nose pliers, 1 set of crimping pliers, and 1 set of industrial cutters. I want to start by mentioning the tool set that I will be using, the main tool set, and it is the Casual Comfort tool set. And I have to say, this is one of the most comfortable tool sets that I have ever found, if not the most comfortable tool set. A lot of times, for whatever reason, jewelry making tools will be really small like this. And as you can see, the grips, the holders on it are a lot smaller as well than this set that I have found. And this is just so much more comfortable to hold. It almost feels like it's made for adult size hands. These tools are very high quality, very well made. I have used these tools for years now, and I will have them linked down below along with everything else I use in the video that did not come from the bead box. So I'm also going to be using 22 gauge wire for some wire wrapping. And this is why I'm using the industrial cutters. If you cut wire with your regular jewelry cutters, it can absolutely mess it up. So I always say it's very good and useful to have a set of industrial cutters that you can use for the wire. I will also be using 49 strand bead along wire in the color Bright, which is this silver color. And I know you can see all of my gold metal here, but you'll see once everything is strung together, you won't even be able to tell that this is silver. I will also have linked down below the opening video I did for the bargain bead box, and it will have a detailed description of everything I use in this video that came from the bead box. The focal point of this necklace is this beautiful pendant. So I am going to start this whole process with a little bit of wire wrapping. And I'm going to use this beautiful sun patterned bead. They're called coin beads. And I'm going to wire wrap this. I already cut this piece off, and I'm gonna say it's probably about 10-12 inches, somewhere in there. You won't need that much. I was just cutting a little bit extra. So I'm going to start by taking my round nose pliers and just hold it on the opposite end. I'm gonna fold it in half. It doesn't have to be exactly in half, but if I take it like this, bend it, and then kind of straighten it out. I'm gonna take this coin bead and I'm gonna put both ends through that coin bead. And it will fit. Just like that, and put it right down about towards the middle. All right, so now I'm going to take my round nose pliers again and hold it at the very tip, right where it's coming out of the top of that coin bead. And I'm going to bend it just like that, like a right angle, right off the top of it. So now I'm going to flip my round nose pliers like this. And you want to hold it at the point in your round nose pliers, the size of the loop that you want. So I don't want the loop to be too big, so I have it sort of towards the front, and I'm just going to wrap it around. Just like that. So now I'm going to switch the ends that I am using. So I have it on the bottom end of those round nose pliers, And I'm going to take both ends of that wire and wrap it around. If the bead slips a little bit, you can kind of pull it up, like push it up like that. Now wrap it around probably 2 times, 3 times, and then have it just like that. And I'm going to take my wire cutters and cut the end of it off. And at this point, I can push the bead down so I can get a little bit closer with my wire cutters and cut off the end. Now I'm going to push that bead back up, take my chain nose pliers and kind of curl that in. So there you have it. And you want to make sure that, you know, when you touch it, it's smooth. It's not going to snag on that end there. I like it looking kind of not perfect. I love that. Okay, so now we need to do the other side. So again, I'm going to make a loop on the other side the same way. Hold it by the ends. Bend it that 90 degrees. Hold it up on the chain nose pliers just a little bit. Wrap it around. And then I'm going to switch to the bottom of the round nose pliers and then have it go all the way around like that, just like that. And now I'm going to wrap it around. Just like that. And so now I'm going to get as close as I can with my industrial cutters and then go in with my chain nose pliers to that little nub. Make sure we get it bent in. And there we have it. There is our wire wrapped coin bead, and it's got loops on both sides. So now that that is done, we're going to set it aside. And I have cut a piece of wire. It is just over 12 inches long. So here is how I start my strands. And I am put on a jump ring and a wire guardian, put it through one side, wrap it around, put it through the other. And you want that jump ring to be up in the wire guardian and pinch it closed. And you want both sides of that wire through the crimp tube. And I'm going to pull on the longer end so the tail isn't quite that long. And I know the parts are small, but I'm going to show you, I want that wire split just like that so that the wires don't cross under that crimp tube. I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot. Make that taco shape, flip it on its side, go into that first divot, give it that other smash, and it gets it pretty good, but I'm going to go in with that flat part at the end and give it the final smash, and that gets it really snug. And I'm going to hold that wire guardian at the end with the jump ring, take the crimp cover, put it right over that smashed crimp tube, and then flip it up. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and give it a gentle smash. And then I'm going to go front to back on that crimp cover just like this with my chain nose pliers to give it that round shape. And that is how we start each strand. So now it's just the order of the beads. So the first set I'm going to put on here is one bicone, 4mm bicone, and then the bead caps that came in the box, the swirl bead caps with that rondelle. Pull it all the way to the end and then get that tail to be tucked into the beads. Just like that, and do it one more time. All right, there you go. And here's the next set, same thing, just with that larger 10mm bead. So just like this, and now we're gonna do just this part 2 more times. All right, so there it is. The center component is super simple, 3 beads. So we have 2 of those gold bicones with a gold spacer bead in the middle. So just like that. And now what we are going to do is do this exact same order that we did over here on this side. And then we'll meet back up to close it off. All right, so here we go. Here is the full strand. And now we are going to close it off. Put on a jump ring, a crimp tube, and a wire guardian. Put it through one side. Wrap it around, put it through the other. And you want to take that tail and tuck it through the first couple of beads. And here's where you want to pull it nice and snug out of the first couple of beads, but you also want to make sure your strand has flexibility, so you want to move your strand. There's got to be a good balance, but you do want it snug. So I'm going to take my crimping pliers, go into that second divot, give it a good smash. You get that taco shape, turn it on its side, go into that first divot, give it the next smash, go in with that flat part on the end, give it that final smash. And then you take that crimp cover, put it right on top of that smashed crimp tube, and then flip it up, go in with the chain nose pliers, give it a gentle smash, and then go front to back on that crimp cover, smash the sides in, give it that round shape, and then I'm going to take that tail, go in as close as I can with my cutters, and then I want to go in there to that edge and kind of tuck in the nub, that little end, into the next bead, just like that. So here is the strand, and this is going to be the longer strand of the multi-strand bracelet. And I have already made the shorter strand. Here is the shorter strand. I made it using the exact same method to start it and to close it off at the end. So the only difference was the order of the beads. So I used 4mm bicones, and these orange ones are the bicones that came in the box. The gold bicones that I used for this strand are from my own stash. So I used the orange ones that came in the box to match these crackle beads that also came in the box. So you can see I used the same bead caps, and I used these 5mm gold spacer beads. And how I do the length of my multi-strand necklaces, I usually go about an inch different. So if you see here, this whole strand from start to finish is 7.5 inches. And you can see this shorter one is just under 6.5 inches. So usually about an inch difference is what I use to make it kind of fall the correct way in a multi-strand necklace. So now we can put it together. So from my own stash, I'm using these two large loops, and these are the loop portion of a couple toggle clasps that I have. So I'm going to take the jump rings that are on the end of each strand, open it, put it on the loop, close it. All right, take the other one on the longer strand, open it, and put it on the loop. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. The biggest thing to keep in mind as you are putting the other one on is to put the shorter strand in front and the longer strand in back so they don't cross. So as you can see, I have the shorter strand already on here. I'm going to put the longer strand behind it and close it. All right, so here are the two strands, and you can see they do hang quite nicely. So now we're going to put on the chain, and I'm using the chain that came in the box, the stainless steel chain, and I'm using right at 7 inches of chain for one side. So I'm using 14 inches total. All right, so I have a 6mm jump ring, and I'm going to connect it to the loop at the top and then to the last link in the chain, just like that, and close it, and do the same thing to the other side. All right, there we go. All right, so I have another 6mm jump ring, and I'm going to go on the opposite last link of the chain and add on a lobster clasp and close it, and do the same thing on the other side, just adding the jump ring and no lobster clasp. All right, so here we go. We'll close it just like that. So now we're gonna add on the pendant. So first I'm gonna take the jump ring that's on the pendant that came with it, open it, connect it to this wire wrap bead that we did at the very beginning, just like that, close it, and now we're gonna take one more 6mm jump ring, open it, connect it to the top of the pendant, and connect it to that center point of the necklace and close it. All right, so here it is. And I know it's difficult to see here, but I will set it up on my display. For right now, I'm gonna set it aside and make the matching earrings that go with it. All right, so here we go. So I've already made one. Here is the matching earrings. And we're going to be using the same coin beads and the sun charms that came in there. They matched that pendant beautifully. So I'm gonna take an eye pin, and on that eye pin, I'm gonna put 2 of the 5mm spacer beads with a coin bead in the center. And I'm going to make a loop by lining that up on my finger because I want the loops to be facing the same direction. So just like that. And I will hold the beads at the top. I'm gonna put my round nose pliers just over that top bead. And then I'm going to bend it just a little. And then bend it back around with my fingers, just like that. I'm gonna go in with my cutters right at that loop. And then before I close that loop, I'm gonna go ahead and put on that charm. And then I'm gonna go in with my round nose pliers and close that loop. Curl it back, just like that. And then the ear wire, I need to change the direction of that loop. So the loop comes facing this way where it's all facing the same direction. So I'm gonna close over the whole thing with my chain nose pliers and just bend it. Complete 90-degree change. And then I'm going to open it just a smidge. I'm gonna make sure it's facing the right direction, just like that. And then close it back. And here are the matching earrings. And I will set up the earrings and the necklace on my display so that we can see it better. All right, so here it is. And I am so happy with how it came out. Let's get in here on this pendant. And I just love how well that pendant matches those charms on the earrings. I think it looks so good together as a set, right along with those coin beads. I just think those are beautiful. And I love the orange and red beads going together. It has that kind of fire effect, which is really nice. And of course, those toggle clasp, or at least the loops of the toggle clasp, I definitely think that adds to the design. I love the way this came out. So once again, if you are interested in the bargain bead box, I will have all the information in the description box below. When you go check it out, you definitely want to use my code. That code is Casey2, and that code will give you $2 off your first month's subscription or $2 off your first order from their website. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so kind, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.